Hello everybody, this is Fiel and I am back again with another review for you guys, and this time it's going to be my very first book review for this channel, and it's going to be on a book that I picked up a few days ago, the beginning of last week actually, and I hungrily just gone through like 500 or so pages of the book in the end of last week, just because I really love this series. And that would be on this book right here, The Evolution of Mara Dyer. So I'm gonna just hold that a little bit over there while I'm talking. Mara Dyer trilogy by Michelle Hodgkins. This is the second book in the novel, and the first one is this one right here, The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, which I picked up about, like, I would say 6 or 7 months ago, because I was really just interested in this dark cover with this girl drowning and getting saved, and the title, I mean, let's face it, who wouldn't be interested in a title that, you know, says The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer? So The Evolution of Mara Dyer is a psychological thriller. It is a romantic story and also considered a young adult novel, which I kind of disagree on, but that's what it's categorized as. So this is like the third, or probably the 5th time I've been trying to film this video, and always something's happening. So I don't know if it's just the book or just me, but okay, let's get through it. I'm not gonna go through what happens in the first book, but just a little bit of a primer. Mara Dyer introduces herself in the beginning of The Unbecoming, and she says that this is the first-hand account of what's going on in my life, and that I may or may not really be Mara Dyer, and I'm not really sure what my name is. So that's the beginning of the first book. And in the end of The Unbecoming, she sees this person that she knows has already died, and that kind of puts her into this downward spiral when she has this blackout, pretty much. So without going off on the first book and telling you guys too much about it, The Evolution of Mara Dyer, Mara finds herself in the beginning of the evolution locked up in a psychiatric facility on a 72-hour hold. So for you guys who don't know, as healthcare professionals, we call a 72-hour hold a 5150, in which a patient or anybody who has a suspicion of a psychiatric disorder is committed into a psychiatric facility for 3 main reasons, and that would be either they're gravely disabled, or they're considered a harm to others, or they're considered a harm to themselves. And the third option is what Mara finds herself as. Her mom, who is a psychologist, thinks that she is out to kill herself, that she just has spiraled through to a suicidal state, and that she wants to just end her life. So she gets put into a 72-hour hold. The first few chapters of the book, we find Mara trying to say things and do things so that she'll get out of that facility and come back to the outside world, where she can find out really what transpired and whether things that are happening to her are really real or not, or if there is a reason why all of these things are happening to her. In the first book, Mara meets Noah Shaw, who in the first book is this self-destructive, pretty much a sexy bastard who is a serial womanizer and just doing all these things, has anger management issues, screwing every girl that he sees, just because he wants to hurt himself and he wants to start feeling something. And when these two people, who are considered two broken people, meet, they pretty much either just combust and self-destruct, or they find solace in each other, which is what happens with Mara and Noah. So in The Evolution of Mara Dyer, Noah really steps up his game. By The Evolution of Mara Dyer, they're already in a romantic relationship, and Noah really puts himself out there trying to find out answers for Mara and being her protector, in light of the idea that he wants to find out why he is also afflicted with this ability, because Noah does have this opposite ability as Mara, which I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but that's kind of what transpired his self-destructive mode in the Unbecoming. But in the evolution, he really becomes this person that's like trying to help Mara and trying to ground her into reality. Like I said, the first book, The Unbecoming, is a fantastic introduction to the world of Mara Dyer. And how she eventually meets Noah Shaw. If you guys don't want to hear any more spoilers about this book, please do avert your eyes, click out or exit out of this video, and come back when you are ready and you feel like you'd want to watch this review and watch spoilers. If not, please stay and watch my attempt to do a book review. So, like I said, in the beginning of the evolution, Mara is put on hold. She eventually gets out, and she becomes slowly becoming very suspicious and paranoid because she starts seeing the antagonist, or the guy that's supposedly dead, in the end of the Unbecoming. So she tries to find reasons why, you know, is it really real? And she's going through this outpatient psychiatric program where the characters, they're kind of dubious themselves. And eventually there's a very big event in the end of the Unbecoming, which I was ready to tear my hair off, because when I reached the end, there was this note in the end that says, "End of Volume 2. Really. And The Retribution of Mara Dyer, the last book in this trilogy, is going to come out in fall of next year, 2013. So I was like, oh my god, I'm not going to find out what's going to happen to Mara and Noah until next year. Cliffhanger though, in the end of this novel, in the evolution, somebody who may or may not be trustworthy after this so-called battle and Mara blacks out, tells Mara while she's in this other facility, locked facility, that Noah Shaw has died during that event. Whether that person is really trustworthy or is really the true antagonist and villain of the story, we don't really know, and we find out in The Retribution of Mara Dyer, like I said, coming out in 2013. Lovely, lovely. So my thoughts really on the book, on The Evolution of Mara Dyer, is that Mara really is your typical teenager, but with an added fact that she has post-traumatic stress disorder, and she has what the other people in her world thinks are hallucinations and paranoid delusions. Psychotic? Maybe, we're not really too sure. She's the title character of the novel, but she really does have the makings of being this very compelling heroine. She is damaged. She's very unsure of herself. Yes, she's very passionate and strong-willed, and she really does want to find out what's going on. Am I the cause of all of these, like, destruction around me? And on the other hand, there's Noah Shaw, who actually, you know, aside from the unescapable fact that Miss Michelle Hodgkins has written him to be this gorgeous, godlike, good-looking guy with a sculpted body who's just can charm the pants off anybody, female or male, is really actually innately flawed, just like Mara. Like I said earlier, they're both these two broken, damaged people who got together, met each other, and you know, Noah has this rich family, and he has everything, money and his whims at his disposal, but he feels very lonely and empty and no reason to live. And when he meets Mara in the Unbecoming and eventually, you know, deepens the relationship in the evolution, we find out that he really does have this one fatal flaw, which is he's the guy who wants to be the hero and who wants to rescue the damsel in distress, which is exactly what Mara is. So they actually really cancel out each other, because Mara does need that protector. She does need that one person she can trust and she thinks is trustworthy, and that would really ground her to reality, and that's what Noah is for her. And Noah, you know, Mara for him is this beacon of life, and returns his vigor for, you know, living his life and not wanting to self-destruct and harm him, you know, just die off from the face of the earth. So they both really complement each other, and they're probably one of my favorite book couples. Without spoiling the plot of the evolution, the villain or antagonist of the book may not be who you would expect. Throughout the evolution of Mara Dyer, I was thinking, you know, maybe Mara really is just delusional and psychotic, and everything that she's talking about is not real, and this girl is just batshit crazy. And I've seen a lot of that in my work, so, you know, I was kind of dubious. But props to the author, because she really brings it back together, just pulls us, you know, back to her story, you know, letting us know that Mara is not really crazy. She may be a little weird, but she's not crazy. So the author does a very good job of kind of just, you know, averting the suspicion back and forth. That's what I really like about these kind of novels. Is very tightly written, and it springs the twists and reversals at you like crazy, pretty much just sucker punching you in the gut into being so emotionally invested in this characters and trying to find out, you know, whether they're really going to survive these circumstances that are happening to them. You just really want to find out whether it is just their own delusional selves, or it is just one big unexplained conspiracy. So the ending is a very thrilling cliffhanger, like I said, much like the first book, and I must admit, you know, like I mentioned earlier, I cannot wait to read The Retribution of Mara Dyer. So hopefully you guys like this review. I've said everything that I think I can possibly say about this book, so I'm sincerely hoping that Miss Hodgkins does give us all the answers in the next book after the evolution. I actually tweeted Miss Hodgkins on Twitter, telling her, you know, 60 pages in, and Noah Shaw is actually already giving me heart palpitations because he's doing all these sweet romantic things for Mara. And she tweets me back and says, "Eep, hopefully you like it. Thank you for liking the book." So cool fact, you know, she does tweet back, and she's that kind of writer that appreciates her readers' thoughts.